Well, hello there, people. Instead of doing an episode review for the current episode and the episode before that, I'm actually going to do a things you missed, because the things in this video are basically what I was going to talk about in my review. So, without delaying your time, let's start with number one, and I'm going to be talking about things that you missed in the previous two episodes, right? So, number one is Urashima Taro, right, or Urashiki. Okay, so Urashima Taro, we already know, has been adapted and recreated as Urashiki in the world of Naruto or Boruto, right? And in the previous episode, I think it was episode 53, where he appeared and took down Toneri, he actually displayed a few abilities that people actually don't know the origins of, and I actually have the origins right here. And the thing is, I've already discussed his origins, so if you go back to that video in which I discussed his origins, you would actually understand that they used that to basically create his weaponry and all kinds of abilities that he has. Okay, so if you do not know what the origin is, Urashima Taro or Urashiki is a fisherman who saved a turtle and brought it to the dragon palace, which lies beneath the sea. Obviously, Urashima Taro spent a few days there, and when he came back to the surface, he finds himself 300 years into the future. Now, what I just said right there is what they used to create a few abilities for Urashiki, since his character is based on Urashima Taro, right? Now, the whole Dragon Palace thing has been changed to the Palace of the Dragon King in Boruto, right? And also, Urashiki actually uses a fishing rod, which is a reference to Urashima Taro, who is also a fisherman, alright? Now, the thing is, now him being stuck in the palace for 300 years without realizing it has been changed to 10,000 years in the world of Naruto and Boruto. And instead of 300 years, it's 10,000 years basically, right? And then there was a box which Urashima Taro acquired from his visit to the Dragon Palace, right? And then the princess told him never to open it, but he opened it, and then he turned old after doing so, right? Now, that box has been changed into this new technique that Urashiki uses, right? Now, what you may not notice is that the box is actually a reference to that box that Urashima Taro actually opened, right? And then what I figured from this is that Urashima Taro or Urashiki can't really use Genjutsu, since he has the Byakugan and does not have a Rinnegan or Sharingan or anything related to that. So instead of using ocular power in order to cast Genjutsu, he uses this box, which basically puts you in a Genjutsu for 10,000 years. So that is the explanation for Urashiki's Genjutsu box, which he has. And actually, that is bringing a new way of casting Genjutsu into the world of Naruto and Boruto. If you think about it, right, the Kote can actually use ninjutsu, right, and imitate ninjutsu, but it cannot imitate Genjutsu, or at least we haven't seen that happen. And Urashiki actually has an item which casts Genjutsu on you, and the Genjutsu lasts for 10,000 years. So either the Genjutsu wears off after Urashiki decides to remove the Genjutsu, or maybe he gets killed and then it goes down, because I can't really see Toneri being stuck in there for 10,000 years, right? So yeah, a Genjutsu that stays for 10,000 years is new and quite intimidating and impressive. So let's go to number two. Sasuke vs Kinshiki. Right now, everyone was saying that it has been extended, but if you really take a good look at it, it has not been extended. In fact, the opposite has happened. They have actually reduced the fighting time. And if you look at the movie scenes of Sasuke fighting Kinshiki, and if you look at the anime, the scenes have been reduced. Okay, it has been shortened. And I think this may be a deliberate attempt to copy the manga, because in the manga the fight was short as well, right? But when they were talking about deleted scenes, they did say that the fight in the movie was going to be extended, but they decided to cut that out. So I don't exactly know what they are doing there, but basically they shortened the fight of Sasuke vs Kinshiki. Now my question is, if you look at the fight, right, do you think they actually used scenes from the movie? Because when people fight fluidly, right, when the animation is this smooth, most of the time it is not this colorful and polished, right? If you look at the fights of Orochimaru vs Log, right, the whole sword fight thing, I mean, the animation is fluid and looks really, really good, but the detail is gone because they sacrifice detail for animation. And I think because of that, if they were to do it with this scene, there wouldn't be as much detail there as there actually is. So I think that they probably used scenes from the movie, but I could be wrong. So Why don't you try and figure that one out for yourself? Okay, now number 3, the Panda mission has been skipped for the mission with Zetsu, okay, or White Zetsu. Now, the Panda mission was important because it actually introduced us to the Kote, which Konohamaru used, and the reason why this is important is because not only does Boruto know about the Kote and the entire Team 7 know about the Kote, but what was really important is that if you do not know, the Rasengan that Boruto has been using through the Kote and the Rasengan that Katasuki has been using through the Kote was actually a Rasengan which belonged to Konohamaru, because if you remember, they store ninjutsu inside the scrolls and then initiates the Kote in order to release the attack. Right now, the Rasengan was not put in there by Naruto but by Konohamaru, and the reason why Konohamaru had a Kote is because he was helping Katasuki do the research for the Kote. So the fact that they skipped that scene, I think, was not a good idea and was very essential, but instead they decided to go for the Zetsu mission, right, which wasn't bad. It was a good introduction to Kaguya Otsutsuki for anyone who didn't really watch the original Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, right? So yeah, and I think it would have been a good introduction for Sasuke, but the thing is that Sasuke had already been introduced in Sarada's mini arc that she had. So yeah, that is the information there for you. Now, number four is actually something that I'm happy about, and I hope that they do this, okay, or they keep doing this. Number 4 is that they used music in the Sasuke vs Kinshiki fights that they used in the movie, okay? So they are using movie soundtracks, and stuff like this is not really it's not new to us, well, in terms of other anime anyways, but I really liked the fact that they used the music that was playing the first time Sasuke was fighting Kinshiki, because that music captures the entire scene and the entire battle. So I found that to be perfect, and I think they kind of noticed that too, and they thought maybe we cannot do the scene without this music, because this music basically perfectly captures the entire moment, right? So they used that, and there was another scene in which they used the movie soundtrack, right? And the movie soundtrack was used when Boruto was actually learning his Rasengan. So when he was talking to Konohamaru and they were arguing about Konohamaru's catchphrase, they actually used the music in that same scene from the movie. So I really like that. Now, I only have one question for you guys, okay? We already know what Naruto's main theme is, and with main theme I'm talking about music, okay? So what do you think, right? Leave in the comment section down below, what do you think is the main theme of Boruto, right? It could be a soundtrack in the movie that you thought was the main theme of Boruto, or it could be a soundtrack in the anime. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, because I really want to know what you guys think, right? So number 5 is the scene where Naruto is having an interview, and in the movie, right, he has a lot of his clones running around, right, helping people out and all that kind of stuff, which basically emphasizes that Naruto does not have the time to do everything alone, so he uses his clones, right, which was one of the main issues, that he used his clones and never actually paid attention to people with his real body, or come to people in person with his real self. So that kind of emphasizes Boruto's struggle, right? But we didn't see the clones running around in Konoha, right? Instead, it was just the interview, and Boruto and a few of his friends actually watching the interview, right? And also, there was actually an Easter egg in the movie where there was a store in which one of the clones was running in, and we saw a mecha Kurama there, and that was the Easter egg, but I think they didn't really do it in the anime, so those two things are missing in the anime adaptation. But so far the anime adaptation is doing really good. It's with surprising us with scenes and doing things different, like when Sasuke was fighting Boruto. Like in the novel, Boruto used a shuriken to attack Sasuke, right, and then Sasuke teleported behind him and tripped Boruto, right? And in the manga he also does that, but in the movie he actually tries to hit Sasuke and then fails, right? But yeah, I really like the original content that they are bringing in the anime. Now, number 6 is a theory. Now, the theory is that this person in Kaguya Otsutsuki's castle is not Kaguya Otsutsuki, because if you look at the features of this person, they are not a female. They do not look like Kaguya. Their hairdo is not like Kaguya, and their horns are not like Kaguya's horns. Kaguya has horns which make her resemble a rabbit, and that is why she earned the title of a rabbit princess, I believe. and this person's horns are different. Okay, Kaguya's did not even have horns when she first appeared on Earth. So this is possibly, right, this is possibly one of the members of the Otsutsuki clan. Maybe it could be the king of the Otsutsuki clan that dispatched Momoshiki, Kinshiki, and Urashiki. Or this could be another life form, because this whole dimension does not necessarily belong to Kaguya. It is probably a dimension which she captured, and maybe the life forms that used to live there created a castle in which she decided to settle and call her castle. So maybe this statue is actually a depiction of the life forms that used to live on that planet before it became uninhabitable, right? And the castles can also be seen in other dimensions as well. So I've actually done a video on alien life in the world of Naruto and Boruto, and all of that will be included at the end of the video, or the eye at the top of the video at the top right. So click there and watch all the videos there which I've done exploring alien life in Boruto and Naruto. Right now, let's talk about number 7. So in this scene in the anime of the recent episode, right, episode 54, Orochimaru basically talks to Mitsuki and says, do not show your power in the Chunin exam. Now, in the interviews of the deleted scenes, it was actually revealed that they had a scene of Mitsuki using Sage Mode prepared to insert into the anime, but it was not added for reasons unknown. But I'm guessing maybe it is because of the time constraints that they had. Now, Mitsuki used Sage Mode in the movie, which was basically not put in there, and now in the anime, Orochimaru is basically telling him not to use his full powers. So are they really going to go with the deleted scenes where he used Sage Mode, or are they just not gonna go with that and just make Mitsuki avoid the entire scenario? I mean, it did not happen in the manga, and if the manga is going in the same direction as the anime, then very likely Mitsuki will not use Sage Mode. And I don't even know why he would use Sage Mode in the first place, because I don't think he would be enough to fight an Otsutsuki. But with that being said, that has been your things you missed. I've done a lot of videos on Otsutsuki, so check them out. Check out the possibility of Kinshiki having a Rinnegan, check out alien life in Boruto and Naruto, and also check out how clans came to exist in the world of Naruto and Boruto. With that being said, check out the other things you missed, and I have nothing more to say. Bye.